nothing I can do but stay out of sight. With every passage, my stomach feeling easy. She says my name and my thoughts get crazy. It's been an hour or more than this tonight. Lips the color of poison dark frog. Eyes the blue of my deepest fantasies. Sudden craving keeps getting away. Sweet like antifreeze. She's got this voice that moves down from the hill, and in the sense she magnifies and kills. But we know I die for a word from those lips. But there's no alignment for other agendas, and we always decided to one to defend us. But it all fades away when she wiggles those hips.
Well, hey everybody, how's everything going on? I'm here, and I got my good buddy, Mr. Clifford Krauss, aka Froid. Froid, say hello to the people.
Hi, the people.
Hey, the people. The Freud says hello. Oh man, it's good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a long time, hasn't it?
Oh, far too long.
Some sort of a global pandemic has kind of prevented us from doing the things that we would normally do to when we saw each other. So
Absolutely, it's a whole thing. You know, it's a frustrating time for everybody. I know I swear a lot more than I used to, but you know, we live, we learn, we grow, all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So what's been going on? I know you know, a pile of the what's been going on stuff, but I figured I'd let you give a little bit of a heads up on what's been going on since last we hung out.
Since last we hung out, man, oh man, I graduated school in April. So yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in physical literacy and my CSEP, which is the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiologists. I got my certification for personal training through them.
Excellent.
And I kind of started training people. And I went to a job. I was training out of a gym. Well, sort of. I was running fitness classes out of a gym. And I just wasn't enjoying, I guess, just the vibe of where I was at and how it looked like it was going. So I quit that job and just decided that I was going to slowly try to start my own company because the pay eventually will be much better. And I can do things my
Excellent.
own way, which is really important to me.
Absolutely, man. I get that 100%. I've gone through waves of like thinking really hard about starting my own company and doing my own thing, and it comes down to I'm not actually I don't want to do the paperwork. That's that's the honest truth. I don't want to do the fucking paperwork.
Lucky for me, the paperwork is not that bad.
That is pretty good, yes.
In fact, most of the paperwork is delegated to my clients.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Things are definitely going crazy for you. I've seen a lot of stuff. A lot of people sharing the web page.
Man,
And
I'm so appreciative or appreciative.
appreciative.
That word. That's
That's
what I
the
am
one.
to people just sharing and liking my stuff because that really, really helps me out a lot.
Just gonna hide the chat window for the time being because nothing's happening in it, and that seems like a weird thing to just be like, hey, look, no one likes Jem, no one's chatting with Jem.
No new messages.
Yes, it's like when I was a kid, you know, we got answering machines when I was, you know, a wee young Jim, and it was that thing where in my head I was like, I'm missing all these important phone calls, and I'd get home and I'd be like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. No, actually, you're missing nothing.
Yep.
Nobody has anything to say.
Check that shit out. Little BDFM magic right there. This is an old school T-shirt. Beer
Man, oh
drinking fighting
man.
machines. I think this is like gotta be 15-year-old shirt.
It's getting close to that.
Yep.
Mine had no sleeves on it, and it is long gone.
I'm surprised I haven't taken the sleeves off this one yet because it's certainly a more comfortable feel for me, and I do enjoy the sleevelessness.
Yeah, it's just not the season. Got to keep the sleeves while the snow's on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you become that guy. Shorts in the middle of winter guy.
No one wants to be that guy. That guy has, and it's funny because like half of our friends are that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
sometimes I'm that guy.
I've been that guy. I feel
Yeah.
really weird though, because like when I used to teach college, that was a thing that I picked up on really quick. You can tell who's the kid from Winnipeg, because you'd go out for a smoke between classes, and there's like all these kids. It's November, and they're all freezing, and they're huddled up in parkas, and there's one fucking kid in a t-shirt and shorts, just standing there all like proud of himself, and yep, and
Yeah,
walk up
I'm
and be like,
from
so
Winterpeg.
where in Manitoba are you from? Ooh, Portage la Prairie, you say?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. The cold doesn't bug me as much ever since my brother became a Wim Hof instructor, and I've just helped him out with a bunch of his work. So ice baths have been like not frequent, but man, oh man, I've been in my fair share of ice baths, and the cold just doesn't do what it used to do to me.
that's fair. Actually, I'm kind of. As soon as you said that, I was like, why am I not taking ice baths? Damn it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. They're
so
fucking great for you.
yeah, you're and to be honest, like now that I think about it, you've got a real thing for baths. There's ice baths. There's the what do they call the sensory deprivation baths. Like you're a bathing guy.
Hey, man. The only type of baths I don't do is baths to clean myself.
I I enjoy the theory of a good bath, soak in the tub. Like it's conceptually cool, but I'm I'm not really a big fan of like lying in soup that's made of my filth. And
Yeah, man, exactly.
yeah,
Showers are far superior.
there was a girl that I was dating, long distance dating, and she would send me photos of herself in like bath with bath bombs going off. Nothing too risque, of course.
Yeah.
But she'd send me these, and then she was like, "You should send me something." And I was like, "I don't have any fucking bubble bath bullshit." So she actually like made me go and buy some of these things so that I could take pictures. And I'll tell you, there's no point where you're in a bath with some fizzy fucking flower burbling away, thinking like, "I'm super cool and sexy. This
Yeah.
is gonna
Well,
work
and
well for me."
big dudes like us, like I can barely fit in a bath. I can only
Oh
imagine
yeah.
anyone bigger than me trying to squeeze in without like the water coming over the top and just like
Oh,
it's a whole ordeal.
totally. And because like I live in the ultimate derelict ghetto house, so we have a bathtub, and the water pressure in that upstairs bathroom is like pathetic. It's so bad that you can't actually use the shower upstairs because it doesn't have generate enough pressure to get all the way up to the shower to make the water come out.
Oh
So like,
God.
yeah, it's that weak. So I start that thing going, and it's just like, okay, I'll be back in half an hour, and it'll be like enough of a thing to get most of my butthole covered. So it's
That's
it's
great.
it's not a thing for me.
Yeah,
So are
yeah.
you doing any music at all these days?
Nope.
No.
Not really, man. I've been messing around just kind of like playing punk rock songs on my acoustic guitar in like a campfire style, but
Sort
other
of
than
camp
that, like
counselor.
right now time is not allowing me to practice that. Plus I got really into chess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I've been
chess.
playing just like a butt ton of chess.
A
I
butt ton.
uh I was watching the Queen's Gambit, and I think I finished the series, and a couple days later I had an Amazon package show up at my house, and I was like, that's weird. I don't remember ordering anything off of Amazon. And we opened it up, and it was a chessboard with a book on how to play chess by Bobby Fischer.
Nice, Bobby Fischer.
So I kind of committed myself to the chess game. So I've been messing around heavy with chess lately.
That's super cool. Yeah, like a lot of people watched the Queen's Gambit and got right into it. For me,
Yeah,
it was
man.
Searching for Bobby Fischer. Fischer. When I first saw that movie, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, I could be good at chess. And what I found out is that I am a lot of things, and I'm good at a lot of things. I will never be a grandmaster at chess.
Oh no.
I can
Oh
beat most
no.
like 10-year-olds that are not good at chess and maybe have never played before. I could kick the fuck out of those kids, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
It's
it's not
I
my
started
skill.
playing against people online on chess.com,
Yeah.
and they end up giving you like ratings based on like who you beat, what their rating is, yada yada yada. And my rating is very bad.
Ooh.
it's
Well,
it's
that's not
very
good.
bad. But I don't know, I also kind of enjoy the whole process of it, of something that just like takes years and years to develop any type of game.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's just endless YouTube videos. And I mean, chess.com's awesome for just like learning and playing and getting beat by people all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because like I mean you don't get better unless you play.
Yeah.
But then when you play, like I have the same problem with playing bass, right? If I'm playing bass and I'm doing good, I feel like a superhero. Like today I've been struggling with this whole thing with like 7/8 time, right? I don't know if you saw the thing I posted on Facebook or not, but it's so one of the things that we do in my band Bodies of Everest is we do these little challenges every now and then, and we'll be like, okay, like the first challenge was here are a bunch of different drum beats. They all kind of flow together if you want, but there's 4 different parts. Make a song, and you have to like I don't care what instruments you play, just make a song. You got a week. So that was our
Wow.
challenge, and we did it. And like the songs that we came up with did not sound like our band at all, but it was a cool process and a cool experience. And
Yeah.
and then so this challenge was because it always starts. Our band always starts with the drummer. So he'll come up with some rhythm and send it to us, and we'll like work on what we want to do with it and stuff, and that's fun. But I guess he was kind of tired of it, so he's like, okay, this time, you guys use a metronome, pick a time signature, send me something. And I had problems with all my gear, of course, because that's the way the world is. Um, but it was good and it was a fun experience. And I decided I wanted to go with 7/8 because it's not a time signature I've done anything in. Um, and I had an idea in my head, and today I finally got it. I got it. I figured it out. I recorded it. I sent it off. I didn't even do like a whole song. I just literally like did 4 measures of the thing and then 4 measures of it with a distortion. And it's like, look
Yeah.
at me, I'm smart. And those are the moments I feel like a king among men. And then I think about like the week of trying to figure this shit out, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. Ah,
How did this take me so long?
yeah, right. And counting to 7 is real hard, Jim. But it
Yeah.
is because it's like I'm counting to 7, but I'm so used to counting to 8 that I keep fucking up and adding in extra notes and
I am just punk rock, man. Like if I stepped out a 4/4 time, I was getting real crazy.
but in 4/4 you were pretty much a king, my friend.
Oh, shucks, thanks.
Yeah.
Ac Mark Mark was actually telling me he ended up getting a little recording equipment and a laptop, and he wants to just like record a punk rock album in his basement.
Yeah.
And maybe if start picking away at the guitar again, we'll do something like that. But I don't see any like live performances in my future.
And that's fair. Right? You've got other priorities now that you're a grown up, and
Yeah.
um, and I
Trying to
think
get those.
like
Go
you
ahead.
went through some life changes, and those were So I'm gonna do this because I can, because I love you. In fact, I'm gonna switch to just me on camera, and I'm gonna reintroduce you the
Okay.
way that I was in my head I was going to.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining me tonight, the man who is an immortal, the man who has tasted what death had to offer and sent it back to the kitchen, the legendary Clifford Froid Krauss. But you made
Yeah,
like, you made the whole like deal with the devil and packed in hell and stuff, and you came back and you changed your whole world. Do you want to talk about
yeah.
that? You don't have to.
I certainly didn't exchange it for um, the ability to play the guitar like no other man, like
Yes.
some other legends. But
You were at a different
yeah, man.
crossroads.
Yeah, man. 2013, uh, two fatal heart attacks, back to back. Um, and it was wild. I mean, like I could go into that shit for all day, but essentially, they where to begin with that? I had a bad heart attack or two bad heart attacks, and I was in a coma for 6 days. And all the doctors that I came across, like cardiologists, blood work people, they all pretty much told me that like all the stuff that I love doing is kind of a thing of the past, like kickboxing,
Mm-hmm.
jujitsu, all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
I was going to be on blood thinners for the rest of my life. Um, yeah, so that was like it was dark for me because that's just like it's kind of like your identity gets wrapped up in a lot of that stuff, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't satisfied with that at all. So I bought a gym membership like a month before they told me I was allowed to exercise, and I would just go there and walk for half an hour on the treadmill every day and slowly build that up. And for my year checkup, I went to go back to see my cardiologist. Supposed to run a bunch of stress tests and all that type of stuff, but he just kind of took one look at me and was like, "Holy shit, look at you, huh?" I was
Yep.
like, "Yeah, man, like I took this pretty fucking seriously." um, and so I didn't even have to run the stress tests. He was pretty much like, "If you ever want to come back and see me, which I probably should sometime soon." But yeah, I'm not on any blood thinners. I take a baby aspirin every day. Back to kickboxing. My knee is
I
trash
remember.
now, so I don't really do jujitsu, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to heal that back up so I can get back into that.
I remember we
Because
were living together at the point where you got the all clear to do full contact martial arts, and you were just like, you came home and you were like you were so fucking giddy because you literally like there was a point when you assumed that was never gonna happen again, or it would be the
yeah,
death of you.
well, I mean, when you have like several medical experts tell you that it's just not going to happen, you kind of believe them for a little
Oh yeah,
while.
yeah. I'm not one to argue with the doctor. My
Yeah, yeah.
in the chat on Discord, my buddy Bright Sparkling Undergarments said life is sweeter after a severe health issue and ass kicking, and you know what? That is the truth.
That is so true. Like
And
the the
go ahead, go ahead.
the last 8 years of my life have I've kind of looked at it as just like extra time that I've had, and fucking they've been the best years of my life except for the last 12 months or so.
Yes, the COVIDing, yeah, that
Ugh.
gets in the way of everything. I know. For me, like I've always been in good health. I have never deserved to be in good health. I've made lots of poor choices that say I shouldn't be in good health, but I've always been in good health. And
Yeah.
I went for. I had this weird thing where I had like this blue right here on my lip. Um, yeah, not normal. And I was out. It was during the break between the 2 lockdowns. It was early on in that, and I'd gone for dinner with my ex-wife and my kids. It was one of my kids' birthday, and she goes, "Why is your lip blue?" And I'm like, "Stupid, lip's not blue." Go to the bathroom and I look and I was like, "Dude, my lip was blue." But it didn't look well, and yeah, Kelvin in the chat says blue lips mean you need to breathe more, Jim. In that particular case, it wasn't that. Like it didn't look like I was short of oxygen or anything. So I made an appointment with my doctor, and my doctor was like, "Okay, this isn't normal. We should probably like have you come in and we'll take a look." And he took a look and he's like, "So this is not oxygen." We did like blood oxygen levels and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, no, you're fine. I want to run a few tests." And he did some tests, and I never got a sense of what he was looking for. But he came back and he was like, "The only thing I can tell you is that your cholesterol is finally at a point where you need to make a choice between smoking and your cholesterol. If you want, I can put you on pills for the rest of your life, or you can quit smoking." And I was like, "I'm going to quit smoking." And then lockdown happened, and fucked if I'm quitting smoking while I have nothing to do in the world. This is a stupid argument, totally. But
it's hard to like
yeah.
break habits like that when you're just locked in your house, though, man. Like,
and the COVID depression, man. Like I would wake up and be like, "Today's the day," and then I'd be like, "Who gives a shit?"
yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
Not good.
I think a lot of people are going through that right now. Like, I'm certainly drinking more than I would like to, but
you and me both, Pilgrim.
yeah, I feel like
I'm on the
a
water
lot
tonight.
of people are. Yeah. Diet Coke for me tonight.
Yep. That's I can't get into Diet Coke, man. The aspartame aftertaste always just fucks me up. But yeah,
Dude, I think I like Diet Coke better than regular Coke. I think it's just the bubbles.
well, it does, and they're different bubbles too. Like they're
They're
more reminiscent of like rum and Coke bubbles than Coke bubbles. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something different there. I don't know.
I love bubbles, man. I'm a West Ham United fan.
Bubbles are awesome. Calvin says, "Pick the pain you want to deal with, though. Would you rather feel good isolated and smoke, or feel like shit isolated and not smoke?" Choices. Ultimately,
Yeah, Jim.
it's a conscious decision that I have to make, and I was doing the pills to quit smoking, and it was good. But yeah, I just couldn't care enough at the time to do something about it. And part of it is because literally I'm doing fucking nothing. You can tell I got this new fat under my neck, which is super awesome. Which is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to my friend Froid. So let me sort of give you the breakdown, and you can tell me if there's anything in your repertoire that can help. Not that I'm saying like, "So we've got an hour, fix me."
Yeah.
But like I would love to if you have something that would work, kind of thing, to pay you money to do this. But what I have in my house is I have no space. I have a punching bag, which I can see right there, that if I hit it with any kind of strength, the whole house shakes and things fall off the wall. I can go light on it, and I've done that. Sometimes I'll go and just like speed bag kind of attack it, but it's not very rewarding.
Yeah.
And most of what I've always done for the last bunch of years to stay healthy has been either like going to a gym and doing stuff, plus walking to and from work. Neither of which are on the table right now. I don't own free weights. I don't own a cool one of them aardvark things that you can swing along on. Like I don't have any of that shit. Yeah. And I was like, I should talk. One of these days, I should grab Froid and just take some time and be like, "Do you have anything? Like, can you give me some direction with body weight stuff?" And again, I'm not saying like fix that on this call. I'm saying is that something that like you can help with?
So absolutely. On one of the programs I offer on my website is online remote training. And essentially, I just bring you through, I've got a bunch of different plans that I've created so far, whether it's like with weights, without weights. I've got a few people on a body weight that like they're just like you, like they might have like a resistance band or no equipment at all. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and there's so much you can do with just body weight exercises, especially for like weight loss and general health stuff. Like I can smoke people with just push-ups and squats, you know what I mean? Like
This is true. And
it's
I remember
all
from my boxing days at the Beaumont Club, like the other places that I boxed have never been quite as insane as that. But the Beaumont Club was like you would go for a 2 kilometer run, which for me at the time was like a 30-second run followed by a really slow walk and lots of sweat beating down my face because I was not in great shape. And then you would come back and you'd do like training with the rope and you do shadow boxing and stuff, and then you'd get in the ring if you were going to spar, or you'd do some other, focused attention kind of things. And then it was like, hey, half hour left. Let's destroy the core of you at every possible way.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Yeah,
something that
no.
I totally would be
I
into.
mean, even my Muay Thai coach, Kieran Kettle, he's a three-time world champion. He used to give me shit for going to the gym and lifting weights because he's like it's not conducive to Muay Thai. So he just smokes us like we do our warm up. He turns the temperature up into the up to 27 degrees in the gym,
Yep.
and we skip for a few minutes. We go through the drills, and then at the end, he just crushes us with just gross amounts of body weight exercises, and and then you're done. And it's like it's you can't get better.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
if
yeah. And that's to me like that's part of the reason I've always struggled when I'm going to a gym is because like I'm not gonna be a swimsuit model. I don't want to be a swimsuit model. I'm never gonna be a power lifter. I don't want to be the great big stacked dude who can't put his arms around his, or down to his pants or whatever. Like I want to be healthy. I want to be in good shape. I want to have fun. I want to, all the shit that I do. And you go to the gym and you feel like this compelling like, bro, keep lifting harder and stronger and get ripped and all that shit. And it's like that's not what I fucking want.
yeah, yeah. There's actually I feel like that is a lot of people, and the easiest thing you can do is just move. Like
Yeah.
it's my biggest thing with the company that I'm starting is that it's like movement based, so that you're performing these exercises in a way that's not going to hurt you. It's going to actually transition into like functionality throughout your life. Like you can just look at squats as preparing to be able to get off the couch or the toilet when you're old.
Yeah,
Because like
absolutely.
a lot of people have that issue when they get old, man, is like they can't get up. And it's like
Yeah.
you should have tried to get strong when you were young.
Totally, totally. Like I always said that one of the things I wanted in life was to never be in a position where I couldn't pick my kids up.
Yeah.
And that when they're little, that was fucking easy. But I'm pretty sure I can still pick up probably, maybe even the two skinny ones at the same time, right? And just like, wonk. But
Body slam.
yeah, you're gonna burn for this one, kids. But like it's definitely, I know I'm 47 and I feel my body getting older and frailer and being stuck at home and like sitting in an awkward, uncomfortable chair while I'm working or whatever, like, and the amount of time I spend in bed,
Yeah.
because that's where I've got good electricity in my house. Like, um, I I feel it in my back, I feel it in my ass, and it's like I know I got to do something. And my,
Yeah.
my go-to answer has always been like, I'm just gonna go for a run. I'm gonna go, I live right by a gorgeous park. I'm gonna go for a run in the park. Well, fuck me if we didn't have, Hurricane Evil pop into the universe and dump snow all over
Uh-huh.
where I wanted to work. So, yeah,
Yeah, that
I got
was
some work to do.
well, I'll tell you right now, I'm writing a blog for my website right now about prolonged sitting and like how brutal it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the best thing you can do is sitting down for long periods of time is every half hour you should get up for at least 5 minutes and just walk,
Yeah.
move, stretch. because it's like wild how bad sitting is for you.
Oh yeah. And I never really like
Especially
because
especially
in
most
my
people,
job,
like
yeah,
most people, like you mentioned walking to work, most people drive to work and then they sit
yep,
down and then they get back in their car, they sit down to go back home, they walk in the door, sit down at dinner, and then they sit down to watch TV to relax. And
yep,
they do that like 5 days a week, sometimes more, you know what I mean?
yep. And on the weekend, they're probably not. Most people aren't running marathons, right? They're they'll shovel the walk or mow the lawn depending on the season, and like maybe fart around building a home entertainment center or whatever. But like most people are living really sedentary right now, and
Oh
not just
yeah.
because of COVID, because everything is drive worthy. Like that's one of the reasons I've never had my license. I now want to get my license. I have my learners, and I'm
Nice.
working. I'm not comfortable with the whole, like, I want to do driver's training, and I'm not comfortable doing driver's training until we have a little bit more control over this whole pandemic business, because I don't want to fucking get COVID.
Yeah.
But after that, I want to do it so that I can do things like go for a drive to the mountains or whatever. Not to drive to work, because I genuinely don't want to do that. I love my walk. It's a great walk, and like the easiest way to be healthy that
Yeah.
there
Oh,
is.
and underrated, like
Oh
highly
yeah,
underrated walking is
yeah,
like I think walking for 30 minutes directly after a meal, I believe, increases your body's ability to like use glucose more effectively by like 50 or 100% or something like that. Like
yeah.
it's it's incredible just walking what it does for you.
It's like we're designed to be able to walk and run, and like I was talking with Dongo on one of these the other night, and I brought up this story of there's this researcher who's an anthropologist who did this. He chased an elk to death.
Yeah,
Um,
exhaustion hunting.
yeah, exhaustion hunting, which I didn't know was a thing until Dongo told me about it, years ago, and I
Yeah,
still just
yeah.
find that fascinating because, like, I've put in a lot of effort to be in better shape. I mean, you remember when we first met, I was a very roly-poly, and I'm big, but I'm not like, like I was. And definitely, like, not just big, but totally not in shape.
Right.
And and the walking that I've done and the running that I've done has taught me that if I needed to run a fucking elk down, that elk is going to have a long and prosperous life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making
Yeah.
marathons.
Yeah, no, like we're designed to move, man. Like
Yep.
our just from the genetics, like the caveman genetics, we never sat down for hours at a time, you know what I mean? It was always
Yep.
moving, looking for food, looking for shelter. It was never like, oh, I found this cave and I got some berries. I guess everything's fine now. I'll just shack up here.
Yep.
That's not
Honey,
how it
can you
happened.
bring me a sandwich made of berries and twigs, please? Thank you. Just
Yeah.
watching some
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
That
And I kind of wonder if maybe one of the reasons we're seeing such spikes in anxiety, not necessarily the spikes, but that maybe we're recognizing the spikes in anxiety more, is because, like, as a species, we're designed to be anxious. We're designed to be, we're huddled down eating, going, who the fuck is coming to steal my food? You know what
yeah,
I mean?
man.
Like, we're animals,
Yeah.
filthy animals, and
Well,
I wonder about these things.
you can even go on like the CDC's website and they'll tell you that exercise like reduces stress, anxiety, depression, all that stuff. Like it's not just physical benefits that
Yeah.
exercise provides, man. It's like it's in your brain. I think even uh sedentary behavior increases your chances of developing dementia.
Yep. Yep.
Like reduce blood flow to the brain. Like it's wild what sedentary behavior does to people, man.
Well,
Like
and that's an interesting. So some of the research that's been happening, and I know this also from Dongo, but not from our chat the other night. around dementias and Alzheimer's and things like that. Some of the research, and you may already know about this. I might be, mansplaining to you, but let me tell you. Well, actually, milady. Um, but it's what they found is that there's this additional circulatory system that we never knew we had. That's our cerebral spinal fluid, and that
Yep.
when we sleep, basically the shit buildup in our brain goes out through the spinal column and then gets processed out of your body, and that's where the prions or prions, however it's pronounced, and that plaque that builds up inside the brain, if your circulatory system isn't working properly, plaque builds up and then the prions can't get out and they just basically kill off parts of your brain, and that's something that like they've been able to essentially give Alzheimer's to rats and then take it away. So
Wow.
we're not in a place where we can, there's no pill to fix Alzheimer's or anything, but like
He-
that whole how our bodies work, we've come so far in so many amazing ways, but we're just shit at looking after ourselves. So no,
Yeah,
I feel
and
that hard.
the other big one is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I read this fantastic book called Why We Sleep by this
Yep.
researcher named Dr. Matthew Walker, I believe.
Okay.
And it was the same type of thing you were talking about, that in certain cycles of sleep, um, the cerebral spinal fluid floods these areas of your brain, and it essentially cleans out all of those plaques, and I'm not sure if prions is the right thing I'm thinking of, but all of the like plaques that build up that end up causing things like Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah.
So like just exercise and sleep, man, is so huge.
Yep. It's such a simple answer that it feels like a cop out. Like, I have a
Yeah.
really good friend who's been going through some long-term depression, and all with very good reasons. But it's, I feel like, there's part of me that constantly wants to like, hey, let's just go for a run, let's go for a walk, let's do something or whatever. And it almost feels like a one of those things, hey, you should smile more. Have you tried
Yeah, yeah.
exercise? But it actually like it really does help, and I know it helps me tremendously when I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Anything active just changes my world.
It's not a cure, but it helps a lot, right?
Yeah,
It's not going to fix the issues that are causing depression and anxiety, but it certainly takes an edge off of it.
absolutely. I should
That
I should make sure that I drop the link to your website in the description. I'm saying that so I remember.
I
Or
would
did I
love you
already?
to do that.
Did I do that already? I don't know if
Very
I did.
easy. CliffordKrausFitness.com, baby boy.
I'm just gonna add it in the chat here. Clifford
Sure.
Kruss fitness.com. I'll put it in the YouTube chat, and I'll put it in the Discord chat. No one's on the Discord chat right now. I'm not that cool. But yeah, so it's there. So and I'll make sure it goes in the description of the video too. But yeah, um, that's the cool thing is you were always a healthy guy. I remember you being a healthy guy.
I was active. I don't know if I'd say healthy.
Fair, yeah,
I was huffing back about 2 packs of cigarettes a day at one point. So,
yeah. And if I'm not
healthy.
mistaken, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you got your energy drinks with a syringe, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, like you were a lot more healthy than a lot of us. So we were all very taken aback when you just up and died.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it certainly took me by surprise.
Yeah, I remember when that all happened. Like we got the phone calls and we're like, holy shit, and we all went to Mark's place, and just Revest was just not even there. Like he was
Yeah.
so rocked, and we were all
Dude, he
just
got in a car crash that day.
yeah, he was just so disoriented from the idea that this was happening, that he rear-ended somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all just sitting there going like, I don't know how Freud's gonna be all right, but goddamn it, Freud better be all right, because I can't do this without them, and I'm fucking glad that you are.
Punk rock
Um,
Jesus, boy.
that's right, man. Can't keep a bad man down.
I went down
Uh,
twice as long as that dude and still came back.
right? Fucking pussy, poser. That just,
Three
I don't know
days.
why that made me think of this. Completely unrelated, but I was just thinking as you said that, I was thinking about the conversation in the van on the way from Calgary to Innisfail. The whole way on the 1,000 beer tour, and you just looking at me going, "You're not ready for Innisfail, Jim. You're not ready for Innisfail." I'm thinking like, "Fuck you, Froid. I'm like a decade older than you at least, and I'm like, I've been drinking. I'm a tough kid. What the fuck is Innisfail got that I can't handle?" I was not ready for Innisfail.
Bro, very few people would be ready for the Innisfail experience that
Double
was,
gin Caesars with packles.
dude,
Just
double double gin
devastating.
seas.
Yep. And I mean, I remember it was, I think 7 o'clock in the afternoon, like, just 7 at night. And I looked over and my drummer is up against the wall like this. And I go, "Ty," and he goes, I'm like, "We have to play in like 3 hours." And he's like,
Yeah, the boys wrecked us. It was almost like a
"Yeah."
challenge for like the guys in BDFM and oh shit to like just trash the other bands before they had to get on.
And I
Um,
honestly didn't see that. Like, I knew you guys would be up to hijinks, but I was like, I can stay. I'm cool. I'm in. I've been hanging out at punk rock shows forever. What the hell? No.
no, there was
No.
levels to that game.
Yeah, that
I'm
was a moment when I realized I am not the sensei.
Yeah, we literally drank away $1,000 that they were willing to pay us to perform there one weekend, and we drank everything we earned and
Oh
more.
Jesus. Yep. I get it. I've been there.
Yeah,
Some amazing nights. It's great when they offer you $20 and you drink that, and you're like, "That's cool." When it's a
it,
$1,000, like, oh shit. I
it's
remember
not cool.
we did I think it was the award show one year, and Karina and I were dating at the time, and our bar tab was like $250 for the night, which is like ridiculous. We
A lot.
never spent that much money. But we go to the next morning. We went to Stetson for breakfast. Rest in peace, Stetson. Um, Went for breakfast, and we're meeting up with Katie and Taco and Mark and Kristen and Bonnie and Jared. And Katie and Taco were there, and I think their tab was like $400, and they're like, "Shh, noobs." And then Jared and Kristen, or sorry, Jared and Bonnie came in. They're like, "Our tab was $800 last night," and I was like, "Holy shit, that's crazy!" And then Mark comes in. He's like, "I spent $2,000 last
Oh, oh,
night."
oh,
Just like fucking,
oh,
oh my god! Between all of us, like we retired someone comfortably for the rest of their life that night. Just
yeah, no kidding.
wow.
Like, what does the tip look like? Whew,
Oh yes, yes. But that
whew.
was the thing is it wasn't our drinking that. It was, we were buying shots for everybody, and everybody,
Uh,
like those were events.
Here's to a few.
Here's to a few. I'll drink some water to that.
Uh,
Mm. And to continue on my healthy streak, I'm gonna quickly switch into my other camera so I can go for a smoke. Just
nice.
I gotta do one of these and then I'll go quiet for 1 second.
Jim's just got the multi-camera sitcom setup,
I should be good. No.
minus all of the awesome tropes and laugh tracks.
Okay, I see it's working. I see the browser's making noise. My microphone is not. And you're making noise still, Freud?
I can hear you, so I feel like we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I literally, if I screw it up, I get like weird the double audio and feedback and shit. So I
Yeah, yeah.
definitely am doing that. But yeah, now I can sneak out for a smoke because that's how important it is. Make good life choices.
Hey, dude, I get it. If there was anything that I was addicted to, like seriously, it was cigarettes.
I think for me, it's obviously cigarettes, but I think that I'm now in a place where I can add coffee to that list. I wasn't
Yeah.
a coffee addict for a long time. I like coffee, but it wasn't like, the be all and end all of my life. But COVID, I have like tripled my coffee intake. I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain that's not healthy. I'm no doctor, but
Um,
I feel like it's a bad choice.
well, the last study I read about coffee consumption said that you can have from 2 to 6 cups of black coffee a day without it having any negative effects.
Because that's how I drink black coffee. I don't fuck around with no silly ass sugar and cream
Yeah,
shit.
and actually, up to 6 cups of coffee a day on the study that I read gave a very small decrease of the likeliness of developing liver cancer. Not significant, but
So what you're saying is, keep up the good work, Jim. You're doing good.
yeah, I got nothing against coffee, man. I can't speak a bad word about coffee because I am also I don't even consider it an addiction. I consider it just a piece of my life now.
Yeah. I was I don't know if you heard about this or not, but last year, when we lived together, I used to have these like crazy coughing fits sometimes, and like
I
my
remember.
ears would go body and shit. And I was out here one day, I guess it was 2 years ago. I was out here in my new place having a cigarette, and I was coughing like that. It's mostly triggered by allergies, but my hand was doing that shimmer thing that it does, like the tremor thing that it does. And then I went, wait a minute, that's not good. You're not supposed to get tremors.
Nope.
So I went and saw my doctor, and I was like, the fuck is up with this? Because my father has Parkinson's, right? So I'm like,
Right.
whoa, this is not good.
Yeah.
And he did a quick once over and was like, I'm not terribly worried about it being like a systemic problem or anything, but I still want you to get a neuro consult. So I went for a neuro consult, and the neuro guy definitely set all my fears to rest. He was like, no, what this is you have large muscles. And when you cough like that, which is, allergies are triggering it, um, what happens is your body releases adrenaline, and your muscles shake just like they would with coffee. But because you're a big guy and you have, this lots of muscles and stuff, it can shake more because you're not really proportioned properly. And it's like, shut up, dude. Um, but he asked me, he said, do you smoke? And have you ever like basically lived on well water? And I said, yes, I smoke. No, I've never lived on well water. And at the end of the thing, he said, so I asked those questions because I was more interested in your father. And I was like, oh, well, he quit smoking, and he definitely lived on well water for, a chunk of his life. And he said the two things that they're really finding in terms of patterns with Parkinson's is people who are smokers do not get Parkinson's.
Huh.
They don't know why, and he's like, it's not a reason to keep smoking. But the
I
other thing
wonder.
is that people who grew up in farms or whatever and who lived on well water for a good chunk of time, like everyone that has Parkinson's has that experience.
Interesting.
Not everyone who has that experience has Parkinson's, so it's not like a
Right.
direct correlation. But yeah, it's an
That's
interesting thing.
interesting. I wonder if it's like the nicotine does something to a receptor or something like that, maybe.
Could very
'Cause
well be.
I know nicotine's like a low level nootropic.
I don't even know what that word means.
Nootropic is like something
Hang on, hang
that's
on, hang on. Let me do this. Nootropic. So neutro is on the neutron level, and pic is picture. So it takes pictures of your neutrons.
something like that. Nootropics are like they're in the easiest way to explain it. It's kind of like vitamins for your brain function. So like oh, I'm gonna blank on the name. ACE something.
ACE inhibitors?
Not inhibitors. It's the opposite of that. Um, so it pretty much damn it, what is it? Acetylcholine.
Okay.
Um, like one of the main things that helps your body transmit neuron functions through your brain and through your whole CNS and stuff like that. And nicotine is actually like it slightly enhances that, which is
Interesting.
yeah, which is like it makes sense though, right? Because like a whole bunch of like musicians and writers, like when writers write, a lot of them sit down, they smoke cigarettes. Like Stephen King talks about that in his book about how
Mhm.
he smokes when he writes. Um, so yeah, maybe it has something to do with that.
It's entirely possible. I think that in my case, it's largely about the fact that I'm a total fucking addict. But
I was trying to fucking undig that hole for you, and
oh no, no, I know exactly what I am, sir.
yeah,
It's
all right,
it's an annoying thing because like I quit for 8 years,
really,
and yeah, when my ex-wife and I were still married, I quit, and 8 years, and then I was in a particularly self-destructive place, and I went on a date, and it did not go well, and I felt bad about how the date went because it was just not awesome.
yeah,
Um, one of those things where it's like I was so caught up in the fear of being alone at the time that I legit like went on a date with somebody that I shouldn't have gone on a date with, and that was a bad choice. One sec, I gotta pause my speaking for 1 sec, or I'm gonna make
absolutely.
things explode.
And I'll just say while you're silent that I have been on enough bad dates that holy moly, if they affected me like that affected you, I would be a fucking hot mess of depression.
Oh yeah, that is exactly the way that happened. And so I left this date. I'm walking home, and it's late. And a friend of mine was taking their garbage out. I didn't even know they lived near me, but they're taking their garbage out. And I looked up, and she was like, "Hey, you want to come in and drink margaritas?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." And we went and drank margaritas, and she had a pack of cigarettes just sitting there, and I was like, "Well, who fucking cares? One cigarette."
What what better time than now?
Yep. And it's been a career ever since, thank goodness.
Dude, I still struggle with like I'll get cravings for cigarettes and I've been done with them for 8 years myself now.
Yep. Yeah,
It's wild the grip it has on you.
yeah, and it's so completely fucked up. And I genuinely wish I could go back into that moment and be like, dude, don't be a fucking idiot. This is not
Yeah,
a good idea.
sit down,
Um,
sit down.
yeah, there are better plans ahead. You're gonna be all right. Just, don't make the stupid choice. But
Yeah, yeah.
I made the stupid choice, and now I have to deal with it. But
Yep.
yeah, no, it's so that's the thing that sucks about it is knowing that like I was fine for eight
Yeah.
years, and literally like I didn't have a lot of cravings in that time. There were moments, but the cravings were really minuscule. Like the day that I quit, well, this is back when bars were still smoking, and I went to a show at the Underground, and I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to be in the world, and people are gonna smoke around me, so I guess I better just fucking tough it up and figure my shit out. And I did, and thank fuck. But yeah, now, now I'm just sitting here
Now
like
it's a
having
thing.
cigarettes all the time, like a fucking grown up.
Yep. Well, what are you gonna do? It's
Oh,
all your choice, buddy.
exactly, exactly. And it's
But
it's on the list
these
of things
times
that are
are
gonna go.
yeah. And like you said, the pandemic stuff doesn't help anybody with any of their addiction issues at all. And
Absolutely.
that's something you don't really like. I hate how they haven't put an emphasis on people actually trying to exercise in their homes during lockdown because, like, guess what boosts your immune system to fight off viruses?
Yeah.
It's like sunlight and exercise is gigantic.
And
And,
the
like,
two big things that people are worrying about right now are addictive issues and depression. And
yeah,
it's good help with both of those things.
Well,
I
and
agree.
you don't hear any of our elected officials or people on the news like encouraging that type of behavior. All it is just like wait for a vaccine and just hope you don't get it. Stay inside. Stay
Yeah,
inside, lock yourself in. And it's like, yeah, but like lock yourself in and try to improve your health. Because like
yeah,
if these lockdowns have shown us anything, it's that we as a society are clearly too vulnerable to viruses now. And
yeah,
it's not going to get better.
yeah,
It's not going
absolutely.
to get better. Like we got to get off of our ass and fucking take care of ourselves or else there's going to be a virus that wipes us out.
Yep, 100%. And somebody posted a meme that I saw today, and it was like, is there anything? Or no, it was a thing on Quora, and someone said like, what could happen in 2021 that makes 2020 look like a year with kid clubs kind of things. And that was what they were talking about. Was like, imagine a new virus hits, and it's one that
Yeah.
we don't have any experience with. We've never seen SARS and MERS and stuff like that. This is just a brand new fucking thing, and we don't have that foot in the door for how we can deal with it. So we're starting from zero. Like that that's a sobering thought.
It's reality.
Hmm.
Like viruses mutate so that they can kill us. That's like
Yep.
what they do. So
Yep.
why not have the best defense system that you can?
Yep. There's no bulletproof, but there's a difference between wearing a t-shirt and wearing a leather jacket on a motorcycle, right?
Yeah,
You,
exactly.
you, you
It's
can
just
still
taking
die,
that
but
extra little step that might make the difference. And
and
if it
that's
doesn't, at
yeah.
least you'll feel good, like
Yeah.
up until that point.
Worst case scenario, yeah. Until the asphalt hits, it was still a great ride.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I feel that like this pandemic. I wrote something a little while ago on Facebook, like a year and a half or 2 years ago or some shit, and it was like, we're gonna have a pandemic one of these days, and it's really gonna bring us together, and it's gonna show us what's important. And I was like, I read that in my Facebook memories, and I was like, oh, you're so cute. Look at
Yeah.
your naive little self, who's your big boy.
Yeah.
Because
Little,
no,
well, and you also have to look at like with how bad these lockdowns have messed with people's mental health, like you have
yep,
to think that's played a part in like riots and insurgencies or insurrections or whatever the
yep,
fuck is going on. Like it's not 100% that, but again, like that
oh yeah,
had to have played a part. Like people are going fucking crazy.
and that's the thing is it when you are frustrated, you are open to all kinds of stupid.
Yeah.
And like if you had gone 5 years ago and walked around with QAnon information and been like, turns out secret vampire pedophile cult, people would have
Yeah.
been like, okay, buddy,
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
along. Now we're electing those fucking people. Like,
And yeah, man, like it's just wild. It is wild. But
absolutely
yeah, like
fucking weird.
that's kind of like it's kind of an approach that I take towards um getting my clients in shape. It's like we don't have to get you to lose 100 pounds. Like we just have to get you on the path to being more active and more confident. You start
Yeah.
feeling better, you start noticing that, and like a little bit of weight comes off. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is everywhere I go, I see these signs on the side of the road that's like, lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, but what about on day 31? Like, do you guys have
Yeah.
a plan for these people, or are you just sending them back into the world after you fucking destroyed their metabolism and dehydrated them completely? And
Yeah.
then inevitably the weight comes back. Like, they're not teaching you how to actually implement fitness into your life as like a thing you do.
Yep.
And instead they're just like just take 30 pounds off.
Yep, 30 pounds,
It's
and
like
you'll be
that.
a whole different person, and nothing will be different.
Yeah, like
Um,
why aren't they teaching you how to have better portions in your meal, or like how
yep,
much movement you need in a day? And like none of that's getting done. And that's pretty much that's my whole thing is just build better movers, and better movers will fucking succeed, man.
totally. That like for me, when I was at my fattest, was before we met. And at my fattest, I started playing flag football and I started doing taekwondo because they were things I could do, and I was like, I don't know, I'll try these things, and that start was the key. But that like that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to just add a little bit of exercise into my life. I started to evaluate. Like I drank Coca-Cola like water. I never
Bro,
drank water, right?
samesies.
I think most people, whether it's Coke or coffee or whatever, like I think we just don't think about water.
No.
And so like I was pumping my system full of high density fructose or whatever the fuck that stuff is, and doing no exercise, eating garbage all the time. And when I started going to the gym and started being healthy, one of the first things I did was I recognized, okay, I drink too much pop. All right, I'm gonna stop. And I stopped drinking pop, and like, bam, 10 pounds just slid off. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm super okay with that. But that told me that there were systemic problems that weren't just exercise related. And
Yeah.
it took a long time. I had to learn how to eat better and how to cook food better. I had to learn portion control, like you said. Like that was a tough one because like I came from a family of big eating people, and
Well, and there's
that
the
was
other
how I
thing,
was
like
raised.
your parents are constantly saying, finish what's on your plate, finish what's on your plate. So you grow
Hmm.
up with this mentality that like it's a failure if you don't finish everything on your plate, even if you're
Hmm.
full.
And
It
if you finish it, then you get the super delicious dessert shit, and that'll make life even fucking better.
So then you're rewarded for bad eating habits.
Yep.
And then it just circles from there. And
Yep.
like pop,
100%.
pop is one of the biggest things. Like you look at the obesity rates in kids these days, and you can point at pop because
Yep.
like how it works is you're just dumping sugar into your system without any fiber for it to attach to, so that it doesn't, like when you attach fiber to the sugar molecule, it drags through your intestines and slowly gets absorbed.
Yeah.
Whereas where you have these liquid sugar calories that just hit your system, and then your insulin spikes. And when your insulin spikes, you feel like shit, and you start getting fat, and you start developing resistance to insulin, and then you get diabetes. And dude, diabetes costs the Canadian taxpayers like $1.4 billion dollars a year,
Holy shit. That
from
doesn't, yeah, that
medical
doesn't surprise me
costs
at all, but yeah.
to time missed at work, and like everything else related like that. It costs us billions.
Jesus.
So like you want to talk about healthcare, it's like people should be taking care of themselves, and
Hmm.
we will like help our economy.
Totally. Totally.
Like it's wild, man. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Like it's hard to get started, but once you're in that routine, it becomes a routine, and it's
Yep.
so easy.
And super rewarding, right? It's one of the few routines that I have. I would say it and band practice, music practice are the things that you do and you see a direct benefit in your universe.
Yeah.
And that's like there's no fucking price tag on that as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I've missed it greatly because of COVID and wanting to do stuff. But yet, literally, I'm an idiot. I know I could do like Pilates or something. There's nothing wrong with doing Pilates. I could do Pilates. Nah, I'm not probably gonna.
Just not
I
going
know,
to.
yeah, I know that there's body weight things that I could be doing. I don't know offhand what. I know like a handful of them. Like I know I could do wall sits, I could do squats, and I could, whatever. That's
Yeah.
probably the extent of what I fucking know. I could do
Yeah.
core stuff, but I haven't since the disruption in my life that came from COVID. I haven't like reestablished that pattern, and I need to
Yeah.
do that, and I need to do it in a smart way. So yeah, I'm totally gonna make
Oh,
you help me.
bro, it'll be so easy. It'll be so easy.
I'm into
And it
that.
makes it easier because when you're an online client of mine, I do weekly accountability checkups to see how your week
Ooh,
went.
motherfucker.
Did you do your workouts? Um, but like that's the biggest thing that like every time I ask like what prevents people from working out, it's like the main thing is like people just say they don't have anybody to be accountable to. So it's like
Yep.
if you're just accountable to yourself, who cares? Like you can just sit down on the couch,
And
make the
I
excuse.
I fought that concept for so long. Like I never, well, I wouldn't say I never had a gym buddy, but for the most part, when I've been focused on doing gym stuff, it's always been like, I'm fucking doing this. And I
Yeah,
always felt like, that accountability, like I have to be accountable for myself. And if somebody, if my friend's like, did you work out today? Fuck, shut up. But you know
yeah,
what? I'm wrong. I'm super wrong about this because I've seen it make that effect in my life. I've seen me have that effect in other people's lives. Like, Dongo and I a couple years ago, we were, he's a short, portly fella, and he's a sedentary dude, and so we decided like, we're gonna go and we're gonna do simple climbs, but we're gonna climb up, and drive out to the K country and do some hikes
yeah.
and do it on a regular basis and stuff. And when I held him to that, he was good, and he was seeing benefits and all this kind of stuff. And when I stopped holding him that accountability and allowing the like, we're busy, we'll do it, another time or whatever. I totally watched he wasn't doing it without me. And
Yep.
it was if I gave him the excuse, then he didn't have that worry about accountability. So yeah, no, I totally
And the
I totally get
beautiful part
that.
about paying somebody to be your accountability buddy is they're going to be your accountability buddy.
Yep. And that's exactly that is what I need. I don't want someone to tell me that everything's going to be all right and aren't you just God's special little fucking snowflake. I
Yeah,
want someone who's going to be like, dude, you didn't fucking do your work.
yeah.
You need to do this. You know I was going to give you shit. What the fuck, motherfucker?
I
So
don't get
yeah,
that aggressive with my clients, but the sentiment is the same.
yeah, it's an important sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm all in. I'm totally stoked on doing this. I think it will be really really important for me and really beneficial.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
Do you remember when we used to work together and we used to have to deal with the ridiculous stories of being bouncers?
Man, oh man.
Yeah,
I yes, I do. And God, it's you almost want to forget how you just learn how humanity was just so filled with garbage, man. Like
oh yeah. What's
you
your
want to
what's your
find
favorite moment? I think I know what it is, but I wanna. There's a couple that
like
immediately pop to mind.
are we talking favorite horrible moments?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. Well, there was a guy on the last night that the distillery was open.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kicking him out,
Yeah.
and you had to walk up these two giant sets of stairs because we were in the basement at the second distillery.
Yeah.
And he was really quiet on the way up, and you and Mark were behind me. It was a really busy night. So you guys went right back downstairs as I got to the second staircase. And right at the top of the stairs, this guy turns around and swings at me. And he's on the high ground. So I'm already at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I get out of the way of this guy's punch, and he instantly runs out the door opens the door so hard that it breaks it off of the hinges, and it's
Yep.
like that right there is a nightmare because it's like our last night in the place and we have to fix this door which is on a C train platform.
Mm-hmm.
We get out there and like a couple of punches get thrown and we pin this guy down on the ground, and we call the cops, and the cops show up, and it was two lady cops, and
Oh
let me
yes.
tell you, these chicks were not having one single second of this guy. Like knee,
Yeah.
knees in the back, like
They were ready to
batons
tase him.
out. They like police brutality is a problem. These two chicks beat the fuck out of this guy who was like,
Mm-hmm.
he was bigger than me. Like he had to have been like 240, six
Yeah.
three or something like that. And like
Yeah.
they just couldn't get him in cuffs. He kept resisting, kept trying to fight these two chick cops. And man, oh
And
man.
they're wailing on him with a baton and
Yeah, from
they
what
were
I
gonna
heard,
tase
he
him.
woke up handcuffed to a hospital bed the next day
I would
and
have to imagine.
had to be told what happened there. But man, there was lots of terrible moments as a bouncer. Just
My top three that I thought you were gonna pick
oh,
was
I didn't
number
even hit
one.
top three.
No, number one was falling asleep at the urinal guy.
Yes, that was
Number two,
fantastic.
yep. Number two was the day we kicked the door into the stall with those two guys. What are you guys doing? Cocaine. And number three is my personal favorite. Was my first time seeing someone in a K-hole.
Oh yeah,
Was that? Do you remember the one I'm talking about? The dubstep
not
show.
specifically because we saw a whole bunch of that.
There was the time where, so I see this, like someone comes up and they're like, "Excuse me, do you work here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, my friend needs help." So I go and this dude is sitting. This is D2, so it's that upper section by the sound booth, and he's sitting on the ground, just like rocking, and his eyes are like not focusing on anything. And I got right down in front of him, and I was like, "Dude, like," and he's not following my finger or anything. And I go into the back. I've never seen this before, right? So I go into the back and I grab Taco and Mark were in the back having a meeting. I'm like, guys, I think we have a problem. Like, there's a dude who I think we need to call an ambulance. And they're like, we don't need to call an ambulance. This, you know, you're being stupid. And Taco comes out with me and I take him over to the guy and he's like, we should call an ambulance. I don't know what the fuck that is. And so we call an ambulance and again, two little tiny women show up and they need us to. So you grabbed his legs and I grabbed his arms, and this guy was a brick shit house.
This guy. Yeah,
We had
yeah,
to carry him up the back stairs and then swing him up onto the gurney. Like,
yeah.
I guess he showed up the next day, or no, he showed up earlier that day and dropped off a resume to be a bouncer there. Like,
Perfect.
didn't get a call back.
Great work, homie.
Yeah, let this be a lesson to those that are watching at home and thinking, you know, how does one become a mover and shaker in the bouncing industry? That is not the way.
Show up to the place you apply that and overdose on drugs.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll be remembered.
Yeah, I certainly remember that dude, man.
We had so many, and I honestly, like, I loved the thing about being a bouncer, that idea that we were there to keep the room safe. And we were there to keep people
For
safe,
sure.
to be able to have fun. But man, there's that other dark side to it that, like, there's only so many times you can have people lie to your face or call you you know, racists or whatever because you're throwing someone a complete piece of shit out of the bar.
And that's where I know that it's like really cops are not really looked at in the greatest of light these days. But to look at it from the perspective of every single day, like when I get pulled over and they say, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Even if I know, I say, "No, officer." Like these guys get lied to and they see the darkest side of humanity each and every single day. Like, of course, at some point, these guys are going to fucking snap. Like, it would almost be better to have like counseling for these guys and like give them mandatory time off to just like unwind. Like, don't let all of that shit build up to the point where they're just assaulting and in some instances fucking killing people.
Yeah. And to me, that's the thing is like, I feel because of my experience as a bouncer, I feel that that is, you know, very true and very legit. And I want to see something that makes cops' lives better.
Yeah.
But I
Because look,
also
if their lives are better, the way they treat people is going to be better as well, you know? And
totally.
it's not, again, it's like physical activity and depression. It's not a cure, but it's certainly taking that little bit off where you might prevent them from fucking snapping.
Yeah. But to balance that, I will also say this, and that is that the fact that that kind of work doesn't have these built-in safeties to
It's
allow people
wild.
to decompress. What that tells me is systemically we don't fucking care, or at least
Yeah,
the people who run the fucking show do not care, and they're
yeah.
fine with, you know, no one wants for people to get murdered by cops. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's all right, but
That
like if
is,
it happens, you know, hey,
and
he's wound
it
up tight,
shouldn't.
you know.
It shouldn't.
Yeah,
But
it's total shit.
such a complicated issue, man. Such a complicated issue.
But I feel very strongly that you and I can see it for what it is in this particular moment. Then either we are fucking geniuses, which is possible, or the cops haven't done their job to define their role and understand how to mitigate that stress. Because I feel
Very
like
well
it's the
put.
second one. I think it's the second one.
Very well put. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
they
that's why I'll
have
say
not.
like all cops are bad and shit, because until you see systemic change that they're actually doing things to support people and make it so that
Yeah.
they're not going to snap, then that's what their job is.
Well, and it's like they're people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me and you got to the point where we would snap on people at the bar because they were constantly lying. They were constantly trying to smoke weed in the bathrooms, and like you get to a point where it's just like, no, fuck no.
Yep.
And all
Yep.
of a sudden violence.
Yep.
And it's the same
I
type
can
of thing,
honestly,
except
yeah, I can honestly say I never threw a punch working in the bar. I have certainly hit people in the bar, but I never threw a punch working in the bar. But that is fluke. One of
yeah,
the first night I was working with Little John, that one woman that had her shoes and she was swinging them and she like cut me through my jeans with her stiletto heels and shit. I was the only person standing there at that moment, and I literally, like, we're in that first set of stairs goes up, and there's like the wall here, and then you go up more stairs over here, and she's sitting in the corner, and I'm trying to reason with her. I'm like, you can't stay. It's time for you to go. You have to get up. Don't make me pick you up. She slashes me with these things. And I didn't think. I had her, like, my hand on her face pushed in the corner and my other arm up like I'm gonna fuck. And I just literally was like, wait a second,
just
this
gonna
is not
bear
okay.
hug.
Just gonna pause. Who wants to tag me out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But you know, completely. I'm a human, and we, you know, I got almost in that situation far too many times. The last time
yeah.
I can think of, some dude, he elbowed Mark in the pit, and I was like right there, and I like, you know, he turned his attention to me, and he grabbed my shirt and leaned back to hit, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit this guy. I'm really okay with this right now. And Mateo was behind him and got him around the neck, and I was like, well, now I can't hit him.
Yeah, yeah.
My shirt's all fucked up and everything.
Yeah. Thank God you didn't have like a nightstick and a gun.
Yeah, yeah, and the ability to, you know, like, I'm a big guy, but I'm a regular human being. Cops are trained to be, you know, essentially professional combatants.
Yeah,
And, you know, this kid, if that kid had taken a swing at a cop, who knows how that could have gone. I mean, he
yeah.
was white, so he'd have been fine, but
Well, and just like, why not spend a bunch of money on de-escalation training? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, I'm sure they get a little bit of it, but like, why not be professionals at de-escalating aggressive situations?
Yeah. And if you can't, like, I can completely respect the idea that you don't want, in some cases, you don't want cops to be de-escalators. You want cops who are not going to come in looking for how do I calm this down, but are looking for, like, how do I stop this shit. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Then stop sending cops. Send someone with cops, and the cops are fucking outside, and they got a panic button, and that
Yep.
person can come in and be like, dude, you need to calm down. Listen, I
Yep.
don't want the cops to come in. Let's have a conversation. Like, that's a whole different thing. I'd rather spend tax
100%.
money on that than a fucking armored personnel carrier for fucking cops. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
And I'm pretty sure it's not mine. I'd love to take credit for it, but, you know, I am
I,
brilliant.
I'm gonna be giving you credit for it. Anytime it's brought up, I'm gonna say first time I heard that was my friend Jim.
Big Ugly Jim. He's so wise. He'd have to be with a name like Big Ugly Jim. Oh man, but you know, I do cherish the fact that um, we have that unique insight into the world of being in a bar that
Oh,
a
you
lot of
learn a
people don't
lot.
have. Totally, and you learn how to
Learn.
read people. Like one of another great moment. I walk into the bar, D2 again, and you're standing at the top of like outside the pit, and your body language says you are angry. And I walk up and like it's an empty room, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. And I'm like, Froid, you all right? And you're like, look at the drummer. And I look, and it was the Pine Tarts had dumped a thing of sparkles all over their drum, and every time they hit it, sparkles are flying, and you're just like, I have to sweep this shit up later.
Glitter. Dude, they knocked that building down, and I'm pretty sure there's still glitter on site. Like,
Probably, yeah.
it, nothing in that time, nothing made me more angry than glitter.
Yep.
Like,
Glitter
and
and
just seeing,
feathers.
yeah, yeah. But literally, just seeing them just like taking bags of glitter and just putting it on their cymbals and their snare drum is just like,
Yeah.
get these
I
people out of the
remember
bar.
I remember Katie gathered it all up into a pitcher at the end of the night, or as much as she could anyway, and then like dumped it in Ken's dreadlocks. Terrible.
Man, we were assholes to our friends.
Uh-huh. We absolutely were. And I think working in a bar, you just kind of like, yeah, we put up with
Yeah.
enough shit, so I guess we're just gonna be terrible fucking human beings.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as those doors close, we're gonna be jerks to each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. And it's funny because like we both did it for years and years and years, and um, you know, you got out of the game before I did, but man, when you stop being a bouncer full time and you go to a bar and you can't help but be a meerkat.
Dude, it I haven't had that leave me yet.
Yeah, I'm
Like it's
still
still
there.
like, yeah, just like watching out for trouble. Like where's the
Yep.
cokeheads?
I try
When
not
are they
to.
going to the bathroom?
I try not to have like dates where you go to a bar because I
Yeah.
found that no one understands it unless you've been in that role.
Yeah.
And I'm like hanging out with the girl and we're talking and we're having a good time. We're having some drinks. Yeah, the band is so good. And it's just
It's exactly
hardwired
what it's
now.
like. It's
Yeah.
exactly what it's like. It was one of my favorite parts about working at Dickens as just a bar back was I didn't really have to keep that eagle eye out for people getting into trouble or people about to fight, you know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
still
That's it.
happens and they still a lot of the times there's like, Freud, can you be a bouncer for the next 10 minutes? It's like
Yep.
I guess so.
Yep. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. I miss working in live music venues. I loved bartending. I loved BAing. But the door stuff and the bouncing and everything, like I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Yeah, I'm sad that we're not doing shows right now, and I'm sad that um, that like the number of people who are doing the job that you and I did to make sure venues are safe isn't probably going up right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, can keep those fucking times. Can keep.
Yeah, and I mean, we were lucky because
Oh
like
yeah.
I got friends that I train a bit of Muay Thai with, and when they talked, they were bouncers at like Cowboys and shit like that. And
Eh,
they were just like, you just got in 2 fights a night. Like you were there as
Yep.
an opponent to all of these drunk dudes who wanted somebody to fight.
Yep.
And like
And
they were
absolutely.
trying to figure out how many street fights they'd been in, and they were like, 48 weeks of the year, 2 shifts a week. It's like
Mm-hmm.
like about 200 fights a year. You're like, Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
Absolutely ridiculous. And when you think
Whereas,
about like what that does to you, yeesh, no thanks.
no, no good.
Yeah, I'm glad, and that's always been the thing with live music venues is your clientele are not necessarily there to get laid and get in a fight, and that was the
No,
saving grace, right? But
not always, man.
even still, like I mean, I remember you and me running up or no, it was me and White Jordan running up the front stairs of D2 after gunshots, being like, "Why are we running forward?" I know you were right there behind us, if I'm not mistaken, but
I
we were
was
the
there. I
two.
wasn't working, but I was there.
Oh yeah. Jordan and I were in the pit, and it was the rap battle, so it was quiet, and we heard that pop noise, and we didn't even say anything. We just like we're running up these stairs, and little John
Yeah,
comes running downstairs. He's like, somebody just got shot, and we're like, why are we fucking running towards this? This is wrong
yeah,
evolutionarily.
yeah. This isn't worth $15 an hour.
Oh yeah, might get to share in some tips.
Yeah, yeah. Hot chips, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, absolutely. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, we've come a long way, baby. You know,
Fucking man. From all the stuff that we just talked about, like we are different human beings
100%, 100%,
and
and
better.
way better, way better. I'm still working on it, but you're fucking nailing it, buddy.
Nobody's perfect, brother.
Nobody's perfect, but I I feel like I spent a lot of time um, in a limbo state where I was working my day job, I was working my night job, um, and then all of a sudden, I had kids to worry about and everything, and it changed my perspective and my priorities and stuff. And I was like, okay, I gotta I gotta make better choices. So it was
Yeah.
probably the best thing for me. All right,
Yeah,
dude.
I was
I don't
forced
even
into
know how
better
long.
choices.
Oh my God, we're almost at 2 hours here. I'm very respectful of your time. I know we talked about like chatting for an hour, so 2 hours. I may not be as respectful of your time as I implied.
All
Um,
good, man.
I fucking thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you. I miss you greatly, and I'm totally gonna take you up on that. CliffordKrausFitness.com. I'll make sure that's in the description down there. And yeah, make me beautiful, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you light enough that when I see you next, I'm gonna bear hug you off the fucking ground.
That sounds fucking fantastic. I can't wait to see you, brother. We'll see you soon,
Yeah,
and
man.
thank you for chatting with me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure. I love you.
Dude,
I
it
wish you
has
all the
been a
best.
blast.
Good luck with all the work you're doing right now for schooling. We didn't even talk about
Yeah,
that, but good
yeah,
luck. I,
man.
I know,
Fuck.
and
That's actually kind of why I have to jump off, is I got units to fucking finish.
gotta move some units. All right, brother. Well, I will let you have a good night, and thank you. Just thank you.
Hey, man. Big love.
All the love. Take care, my friend.
Also, if anybody needs any training, holler at me. You can sign up on my website. I I'm a very nice person, and I get things done realistically.
100%. Couldn't ask for a better
Aye.
trainer. All right. Take care, brother.
You too,
Ciao.
man.